Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Hello, you're welcome to today's edition of Money Radio on Leadership Podcast. Money Radio, of course, is that program that brings you the latest developments in Nigeria's business and economic cycles, and of course, issues of businesses around the world. My name is Innocent Odo, and today we have come with a very interesting package on our program. Today, we are looking at how Nigeria can leverage more opportunities in the ICT sector in Africa. It might interest you to know that Nigeria is one of the leading countries in the continent when it comes to information and communications technology. Nigeria, of course, is the hotbed, the hub of startup businesses in Africa, and more opportunities are being opened in some African countries where Nigeria can actually extend and spread its tentacles to exploit the situation, the opportunities there, and of course to add value to the nation's economy, especially now that the federal government is so keen about diversifying the economy from the oil sector. And so we are going to take a look at this very important sector rather, the ICT, and how Nigeria can, of course, take the opportunities that are actually opening up in some African countries. This is happening on the heels of a certain request by the Embassy of Burundi that Nigeria expertise in ICT should also be extended to that country. And of course, some other countries in the East and Central African region are also yearning for the opportunity to have Nigeria also invest in the ICT sector in their country. So it is a massive chance for Nigeria to showcase its expertise in ICT in this part of Africa, and of course to also extend it to the rest of the world where our services will be needed. And it's going to be of a very great advantage to the country when we do so. And in the studio today, I have an ICT expert with whom I'm going to do justice to this very important segment. I have in the studio my regular guest, Hanel Jafaru. Hanel, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me today.
Now, Nigeria is being rated as an ICT hub in Africa. Of course, last year, the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Isa Ali, said it that Nigeria's ICT contributed about 17.9% to the gross domestic product of Nigeria. And of course, with more investment, we can actually achieve better than that in this year and even in the coming years. So I think some African countries are already looking at that and trying to tap into that opportunity. So we have opportunities. But then how do we exploit that? Is the Ambassador of Burundi today told journalists that yes, Nigeria is that hub they are looking at, and they want to open opportunities for the country so that we can exploit the ICT opportunities available there. So how do we do that? Do we have the what they call the enablement to tap into those opportunities elsewhere?
Yes, we do. I was at the workshop yesterday, and what I told them at the workshop is that Nigeria has enormous opportunities, and Nigeria is truly the one African is waiting for. It really doesn't matter what African country has probably taken up that goal to go forth whatsoever in their opinion. If Nigeria does not do it, it's likely going to end up they won't be able to maximize their efficiency, they won't be able to get the best out of it. So Nigeria, we have a level of I don't know what I call it, a kind of dependence that African countries depend on us without being told, without any form of any benefit. There is this, they just depend on us, looking at us to be that country that first was among the very first few countries that got independent during the pre-colonial era. And since then, largely, even though we've been going in and out of democracy, the integration of the integration of military and all that. But for the past 30 years now, 20 years and about 30, the 20 and above we've been stable, and that has in a way given us leverage over other African countries. And talking about the ICT, we have we have one of the most learned uh, human capital persons in the world. And if you go to, there's this popular saying that if you go to any country and you don't find it in Nigeria, then it's not
It's good enough for
environment.
it's not good enough for anybody to
Yeah,
live in
now,
yet.
most of these tech giants, the Microsoft, the Google, the Amazon, the IBM, look at it, we may not be at the end of affairs, but we are the engine that is running most of their major tools. Now, these guys can't compete, but they will enable for them the website to get. So even those that are doing well in Nigeria,
Yes.
they do not get majority of their funds did not come from Nigeria. Majority of their funds come from the Western world. You get, so if that's to do with the intellectual capacity we have them enormous. The reason why it may look as though we don't have so much is because we are not organized. Yes, that's the reason why we look as if we don't have so much. So many. We have the Nigerian Computer Society. We have the Information Technology, Nigerian Information Technology Association. We have the CCN and so many other associations in line with ICT, and they are doing enormously well. Yet, in fact, in my institute, 80% of my students are from other African countries. Yet 20 are based in Nigeria because I run my institute. But 80% are from other African countries. In terms that they look forward to anytime we have classes, they look forward to classes. I've had time to even communicate or discuss with some of the students, and it will baffle you the kind of laxity and the level of the absence of knowledge within those countries. We may be here now and we look as though other African countries are like Nigeria. No, that's not the right way to define it or to put it, because they are not like us. They are highly dependent on us to bring forth what we have today. But you can't go to a country disorganized. You have to ensure that you are organized. And when you're approaching the country, you are approaching the country in an organized way, showing your track record of all the things that you have done in your own country. Total Wave is in about 9 to 10 different countries now. The reason they are able to penetrate other African countries is because they came as an organized organization. So, largely, we need to be organized. We have the human capacity, we have the manpower, we have the knowledge, we have the technical know-how. But we can't, in all this, we can't just approach every country. It has to be, there is an invisible bilateral relationship between Nigeria and every other African country. All we just need to do is to come there, organize, and say, okay, we want to help you. How can we help you? Was it not last year that Nigeria passed their Cybersecurity Act? 2017 was when Ghana passed theirs. 2018, if I'm not mistaken, was when Botswana passed theirs. So Nigeria has passed their own cybersecurity since 2015. Because now we can't go to other African countries and start telling them that they should review. We passed ours 8 years ago. We have not reviewed our. Okay, so these are all part of the things. When we are going there, we have to go there, organize, ensure that we know what we're doing. Yes, we have the technical know-how, but we don't just the technical know-how. This tomorrow you're trying to pass knowledge to others. So you have to pass the knowledge sequentially, not braggers, not just
Yes,
anyhow.
I was actually coming to that question of being organized. Because you know that the vibrant ICT sector here, and a lot by private sector initiative. And of course, there are some government agencies also who are also regulating the industry, the sector, and they have done quite a lot in trying to bring people together, whether by legislation or by administrative or policy measures, to be able to give that sector the organ that it needs. So, is it not possible we exploit this type of structure we already have while also looking at the opportunities in this African country that are actually yearning for more Nigerians to come in and invest in that sector? Burundi, for instance, according to the ambassador today, said that they have vast areas in technology, not just ICT, but even technology in agriculture to have to industrialize their own economy. Talk about tourism, we talk about even solid minerals, we talk about agricultural products. So there's a whole lot that Nigeria is being invited to come in and invest, to help modernize that economy. So it's an opportunity. But just like you said, what then does it take us to? How does it take a nation to get organized and then take opportunities?
No, our ICT sector grew on its own largely. It is not, we can just say 10% of the growth can be attributed to government regulation. It grew independently. There was not, you would not say that it is government invested in it. It was foreigners, the Western world, that invested in our without knowing fully well that it is ICT. They are not coming to build and erect one massive infrastructure. They are investing in a person that has an idea. All the GDP, GDP that the minister mentioned in the second quarter of last year, majority of them came from investment on companies that are owned by Nigeria or founded by Nigeria, but not owned by them. The growth was as a result of Western world investing in an idea, not in a country. However, the idea, the owner of the idea is residing in the country. So by default, it is in the country. But we want to look at it objectively that the investment was on an idea that is electronic. Then we should take note. Somebody can decide, because it is IT, it is a web-based application that they invested in Nigeria. Someone can decide to say, okay, I'm no longer making. It takes them nothing to say, I'm no longer making my head office in Nigeria. What to make my head office to be? In less than probably 6 months. In fact, in less than 1 week, they can migrate to Ghana and make Ghana their head office. Because the infrastructure that they are using to run is not in Nigeria. The server they are using to run is not in Nigeria. The personnel they are using to run, largely the mastermind of that idea is a Nigerian, and that's the only person they need to migrate. Can get every other person to work there or work with them in Ghana. So being organized now is to have a blueprint. As it stands now, it is on independent growth that we have been able to achieve. Largely, we've been able to achieve what we have now. But for us to be organized, it means that there need to be a blueprint. There should be a blueprint on how we have grown systematically. Now, that blueprint will not be what you will replicate in the country you're going to. You can't just go to a country and start telling them that what we did was that we just invited other people to come and invest in the youth of our country. That is not a good way to leverage on the opportunity that has been presented to Nigerians. Now, what we can do as youth now is that youth can start to go on their own. Yeah. But now when youth go on their own, it's like as though they are still struggling in Nigeria because they don't have the backing of the government. But when you go with the backing of the government, going in an organized way with a blueprint that makes them replicate, that makes it possible for them to replicate what has happened in Nigeria, then by doing that, it makes it easier to carry out that.
Put your thought on that. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue with the discussion.
sponsorship, and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we've been talking about how Nigeria can leverage more opportunities in the ICT sector in African countries. Opportunities are actually begging Nigeria to come in and take hold of them in some African countries, especially East and Central Africa. The Rwandan ambassador to Nigeria is, in fact, practically asking Nigeria to come into her country and take opportunities to invest in ICT and other technological expertise that can help build that country's economy, especially when they have vast areas of technology like that in tourism, in agriculture, in mines, in steel, and so many other areas that Nigeria can actually take advantage of. So we are calling on the stakeholders in the Nigerian ICT sector and technology in general, and of course the federal government and state government to put heads together to organize ourselves into taking that opportunity, because there are other countries in Africa like South Africa, India, and the rest of them who might as well be looking for that opportunity to take. And Daniel, before we went on that short break, we were talking about having a determined blueprint with which we can leverage this opportunity. Now, that is not happening at the moment. I stand to be corrected. The issue now is that this is a very competitive area. Other countries that are also doing well in ICT are taking note of these issues that are happening now. South Africa, for instance, we also have India, a very high-tech economy, which may one day start to look at that direction. And once they start doing that, we might have a serious challenge of competition. I don't know how we're going to do that. So is it not basically okay now that we take this as an opportunity? Rwanda is just Burundi is a country that is just emerging from some domestic problem, and they are looking up to Nigeria. So this is a chance, but that opportunity has to be taken if we have an organized group. What is holding us right now?
Okay, now we can. It's not as though that we don't have anything as it stands to offer them. Now the growth of Nigerian ICT sector beyond investment that came from the Western world is the ability for us to penetrate or to grow our broadband penetration. So that should be the first thing that we should begin to look at within the country. If we can design how they can grow their broadband, their internet penetration platform, we can replicate. We have a plan for that as a country. We have a plan that lasts to 2025. Yes. So the broadband penetration must be done. So we have a plan for that, so we can replicate that while that is going on. But that's actually the bedrock at which if they don't have a broadband penetration assets, it's likely going to be difficult. You can't go there and launch a mobile app now and you don't have broadband penetration. You're not able to run it. You can't go there and launch whatsoever application. Yeah, beyond the application or the software you're giving them, which will come as an investment, from the youth. You also have to ensure that you have platforms available and the infrastructure available. And the infrastructure largely depends on the internet. So design broadband master plan, and let them begin to implement while they're implementing other areas of ICT can come in.
Yes, there's another strong area of ICT that Nigerians have actually made some inroads, but there are still some challenges. The issue of software development. Nigerians are really making a lot of effort to ensure that we enhance our capacity in that area. But then the software used in Nigeria, for instance, hardly will you see local. There's a very little local patronage of the software that Nigerians develop. Maybe barely about 20% of
If not less.
if not less, that are now being used by Nigerians. Where we have companies, we have agencies of government that are still patronizing foreign software.
It's sad, but that's the reality. Nigerian softwares are largely now. In fact, we get more patronage of Nigerian softwares from outside Nigeria by other African countries than even Nigerians itself. Because other African countries feel Nigeria is cheaper than going to buy a software from, let's say, India and US. Yet now, what is stopping the Nigerians? What's stopping Nigerians from patronizing Nigerian software?
That's the question. Why are they, even when you have a government agency, do they need any legislations to do that?
I think largely it may come to that because for them, my analysis to this, I've started I thought about it, and my conclusion to this is that it's just easier for you to make more money when you're getting product from the West and from the US. It's not as though, because what are you doing as different from it is the same programming language, it's the same programming skill that they're going to do. So what exactly are they doing? What's making theirs better? Is it in the area of what do you call it, agility? You can't work on your agility without doing test. Yes. So you have to trust that yes, there is a process of growth. There is in the first when Microsoft started, it passed through that process of growth. That's why we had Microsoft, the DOS version, before went to 80, then we have 2000, we have XP, we have Windows Ultimate, Windows Vista, Windows Ultimate, Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows 8.1, Windows 10. These are they were building. It was not as though that they were just building on existing structure. But if US had not trusted in it, they wouldn't have gotten to where they are today. If US has not trusted Mac Apple would have gotten to where it is today. The acceptability starts from within. If you within does not accept it, lastly, there is so little you can get from other parts or from external patronage. The Nigerian government needs to accept that we have guys that do these things. Beyond having them, they are also capable of making whatsoever amendment needs to be made. Beyond that, we should also know that they also are willing to grow that business, and on the long run, it comes back to the government as tax. It comes back to the government as tax. And these are some of the ways that you guys pay taxes. Because when product is being exported, what's the strategy to capture exported products? Payment is being made as purchases for services, purchases of products, but they are being made as payments from brothers that are sending money from diaspora to Nigeria. Because money from diaspora to Nigeria is then the level of tax on it. So if we don't keep the money within, if we don't keep the money in circulation, we don't keep the wealth in circulation, largely it's going to affect us as a country, and it's going to make our growth rate is going to be limited.
Wow. And that is not what we want, because as our industry, this sector is expanding, of course, giving job opportunities for young people to be able to.
ICT has the capacity. ICT, a country like Nigeria can live on ICT as the sole industry that we depend on and will survive and live serious money. I'm talking about both the individuals that are in the ICT, the government that sponsored it or that is backing it, and everybody that is linked to the country. ICT is a dynamic industry that has the ability to grow based on, it's just like a balloon. The more air you push in, the more it expands. Because that's the way ICT is. ICT has different dimensions that is the world, or everything that we are looking at now is going to run on ICT. Everything we're looking on is going to run on ICT. Is it the robots that are coming? Is it the what's it called? Artificial intelligence? Is it the virtual reality, augmented reality? These are that I'm talking about. These are things that the future holds, and they are all running on ICT because ICT will take over your military. Robots are taking over your land soldiers. Drones are taking over your air force. So what again are you talking about? Now, if you want to go to the health sector, we've seen where it has been tested where robots are carrying out surgery, and the surgeon is in a different country, in the country different from where the operation is being, the surgery operation is being carried out. And the surgeon where he was is controlling the robot. And not the operation was successful. A brain surgery was successful. Isn't the Internet of Things that tends to go to that you can, as you're sowing seed in agriculture, you're planting your seeds, you can also impute devices that has the ability to check the humidity, capture your weather condition, know whether you need to put in water, knows the temperature, and can trigger without anybody going there. It can trigger, it knows the amount of water that the soil will need, and if it goes below that amount, it triggers the button that pumps water to the soil. And once that happens, we have a good and a healthy food. Because now I've mentioned health, I've mentioned security, I've mentioned agriculture. Because now all these things, they are running on where? ICT.
So ICT.
I've not even talked about the core, the main ICT itself. I'm only giving you some of the platforms that what ICT can bring forth. Yeah, so I don't know why we are reluctant in making this thing the industry that is the industry that is
the future that is supposed to be. Yes,
that ICT is broad, and one thing there are different dimensions of ICT. We've not mentioned the hardware dimension. We've not mentioned the software dimension. We've not mentioned the security dimension, because security now is also a major concern. You have to secure all those robots. You have to secure all those drones. You have to secure all those Internet of Things devices. All these things, it's also a dimension of ICT. Now, cybersecurity, as looking at the NICE framework, has about 32 different specializations, and more will be coming because more industry will be coming on the ICT. So, what are we doing as a country to leverage on this thing? This is the best time for us to put in all the modalities in place, so that when it's time, we're ready to launch.
Wow. I mean, I know if I leave you, you will go on and on and on. But time is not on our side now. And it's always good to have you on the program, Daniel. Thank you so much for joining us once again. And it's on that note that we draw the curtains on today's edition of Money Radio. We've been talking about how Nigeria can leverage on the opportunities presented by the ICT in different parts of Africa, especially East and Central African countries that are yearning for Nigeria to come in and help them develop that sector. We hope that Nigerian government and stakeholders in the industry will take that call, take advantage of that to expand the horizon of ICT in Nigeria and the rest of Africa. So on that note, we promise to bring you another edition of Money Radio when next week. Stay blessed.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-61 558. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.